Fellas, AC here. Welcome to another video. And I'm really glad to see how much this current series of videos that I've been doing has become so popular. So, as I promised, this video, I'm going to talk about the fragrances that I recommend the most, which are from the Middle East, and more importantly, they are inexpensive. And you know, when we talk about Middle East, there are many houses in the Middle East which are sort of niche. I'm leaving them out. For example, Arabian Oud, I've covered that in the niche video. Amouage, I've covered that. Abdul Samad Al Qureshi. I've only tried one, but they are amazing house, just in case if you're interested. So this video is completely dedicated to houses like Rasasi, which is my absolute favorite, Armaf, Lattafas, that kind of stuff, you know, inexpensive. And I know that a lot of people in the world don't want to spend too much money on expensive fragrances. So this is going to be a treat for you all. Obviously, with inexpensive fragrances, some fragrances might come across as cheap or synthetic, and I totally understand that. But if you're like me, I can enjoy everything. You've seen my collection. I always praise every fragrance on its merit. So I'm going to show you some of the best fragrances from Middle East in the budget category in this video. So let's start. I'm going to start with my favorite Middle Eastern house, and that is Rasasi. The fragrance is called Sotoor. WaaW. They introduced 4 fragrances from this line. All 4 fragrances were quite nice. This one is the best of the lot. And it's basically a woody, dry, cinnamon-based fragrance. And cinnamon has a texture of leather. So this one reminds me of Jazz Club. And I've done a full review of this one. It has a very nice note of cardamom, I believe. And there are other notes as well, quite uncommon notes. But I can't remember them fully. This is basically a very pleasant, sweet, attractive and sexy fragrance. It's very sweet to start with, then loses its sweetness and is very, very friendly and attractive. So if you're into clubbing, if you're into date, if you generally like sweet fragrances, this is a fragrance that you should really try. This one doesn't get a lot of talk in the fragcom, but I promise you, if you smell this, you'll be really, sort of pleased with yourself, your decision and yourself. Very attractive and very friendly. So Sotoor WaaW is basically for the clubbers, people who like to wear sweet fragrances, and people who really appreciate a good compliment. This is a compliment magnet for sure. So next on my list is a house that I've been focusing a lot on, Lattafa. And this fragrance is called Abiyedh Rouge. I've done a full review as well. In fact, I'll tell you the ones that I've not reviewed. There are very few in this list. Abiyedh Rouge is a copy of Baccarat Rouge by Maison Francis Kurkdjian. The only thing is, this is a 60 ml bottle and it will cost you between 12 and 15 pounds, and it's a very, very fine, very, very nice implementation or copy, I would say, of Baccarat Rouge, which is basically this esoteric concept of representing a glass, crushed glass. It's a sweet fragrance. It's very radiant, and it's got a lot of ISOE super, and ISOE super projects a lot, and it has this quality of smelling something which is modern, uncommon, and hence it gets you a lot of attention, a lot of sort of positive reactions, if you like. It's also very tangy. It's not very sweet, slightly sweet, but mostly tangy because of ISOE super. And it's very radiant as well. Great for summer, I would say, even spring, and great for outdoors because it projects a lot. So daytime, outdoor would be the perfect occasion for Abiyedh Rouge. Very high compliment factor because it smells so unique and so radiant and cheerful. That's the kind of impression this one gives me. Next in my list is a take on Creed's Silver Mountain Water, but a more resinous, thick and musky sort of take. So this one is by Ajmal and it's called Silver Shade. I've done a full review as well of this one as well, and yeah, it's basically Silver Mountain Water, but something in it smells metallic and more heavy and resinous. I think lavender. and it's got a lot of performance. Silver Mountain water is not a huge projector and doesn't last very long. And this one has this huge performance. It lasts easily about 8 hours. And when something lasts and smells clean, metallic, beautiful bergamot, it's a very nice fragrance. If you're on a budget and you're looking for something to wear to office, yeah, this could be a very good option because it's clean, it's fresh, and still it's resinous and very different. Obviously the metallic note is something that you might have to get used to if you're not familiar with the DNA of Silver Mountain water. It doesn't have the inkiness that is there in Silver Mountain water, but I guess that's a note that won't be missed by many. So Silver Shade by Ajmal, very, very good daytime office fragrance. It also has super performance, I was going to say personality, and if you live in a hot country, I think you will really like this. Next on my list is a house. From a house, the house has been getting a lot of attention from me. Just like Lattafa, I'm giving a lot of attention to this house because this house really surprised me. And this house is My Perfumes, based out of UAE. And this is the second time I'm showing you this fragrance. It's called Al Faris. Al Faris. This house has it's hit a chord with me because they are not very expensive, like all of these fragrances. But most importantly, they have tremendous performance. Huge, huge performance. This one doesn't have the kind of beastly performance which one of the fragrances that I'll show you later in the list has, but this one is very interesting and unique. First of all, it's a very unique scent. It's an interesting composition because this is a vanilla fragrance, but as you can see from the picture on the front, it's a very masculine dark vanilla, and the kind of vanilla used here is a fruity kind, not the kind that Guerlain uses or many of the Western houses use. This one uses a kind of vanilla which is fruity and very thin. There's no resinous quality. Along with that, there's a note of cashmere wood. Now, cashmere wood has a very silky, satin-like feel. So this has that, not that silky, but very airy, fruity, dry. And I also think there's a lot of spices here, but those spices are aromatic in nature, not spicy like cumin, more aromatic, like, for example, cinnamon, like WaaW. So it has that really nice, dry, very aromatic, extremely open, extremely lovable fragrance because of vanilla, but it doesn't have that date-night feel. It's a daytime fragrance. I'll do a full review very soon, but this one is Al Faris by My Perfumes, one of my recent favorite houses. Next on my list is a summer daytime treat. It's by a house called Estiare, and this is a long fragrance name, so it's Backpack Outdoor Sport by Estiare. I've done a full review. It basically is a copy of Lacoste Blanc. And Lacoste Blanc is a fantastic floral, fruity, citrus fragrance. But the performance on Lacoste Blanc is like 4 hours. One of the most nicest smelling fragrances you can buy for money. But unfortunately, 4 hours and it's gone. This one gives you twice that longevity. It has that same DNA, the citrus, I think they use tuberose in here. The citrus is slightly resinous, slightly thick, and very friendly, very open. This is one of those fragrances that you can wear to your summer engagements, outdoor party, t-shirt and jeans, shopping, that sort of thing. It's really inexpensive, easy to wear, fantastic, in terms of versatility. Absolutely brilliant. And it gets you a lot of compliments. It has the potential to get you a lot of compliments, especially for youngsters. So if you're looking for a daytime summer fragrance with good performance, Estiare Backpack Outdoor Sport. Long name. I've got a bit of a throat problem today, so my voice could be a little bit thin and it's a bit dry. I don't know why, but I've got this throat issue today, so do excuse me. Next one on my list is basically an Armaf, and this is again one of those fragrances that I've reviewed before, and when I reviewed it, it was a YouTube exclusive and it got tons and tons of views. People bought it and came back and told me that it was absolutely fantastic. This one is Legacy by Armaf. It's basically a clone of Chanel Egoist Platinum. This one is a lipsticky, lavender, very airy and just green, beautiful lipsticky fragrance. Again, one of those fragrances you can wear any time of year, but it smells amazing in between weather. So spring and autumn. Extremely likable, very attractive. It also has a minty note to it. Now, mint can be a problem for some people because some people don't like mint because it reminds them of toothpaste. It has this minty feel. I don't get the toothpaste. Why? I get the fresh, green, sharp and beautiful, beautiful, versatile fragrance. Love this fragrance. And if you're looking for a nice office scent, very attractive, very approachable kind of an office scent, go with Legacy. I like the packaging as well. So, 6 I believe. Unless we do the Monty Python thing again. Now, next on my list is an Armaf again. Now, this one surprised me. It's called Armaf Niche Oud. Now, this has got nothing to do with oud. This fragrance is an amber fragrance. And why it surprised me was, one of my most favorite amber fragrances is Ombre Sultan by Serge Lutens. When I sprayed it first, I could not quite remember why I like it, because I love this fragrance and I've done a full review. I love this fragrance and I was thinking to myself, why do I like this so much? I thought to myself, okay, the amber smells very much like amber smells, which is right, which is why I like Ombre Sultan. And then I kept thinking, but I couldn't correlate. A few days ago I sprayed it because I was testing Ombre Sultan. I sprayed it a couple of days later and I thought to myself, hey, this smells like Ombre Sultan. So when you first spray it, you'll not like it because it's too sweet and it's tonka heavy. And that thing goes away in about half an hour. And what comes out is the most beautiful, magical smell of Oriental style amber. Spicy amber. Resinous, thick, rich, depth. It's beautiful. So if you're looking for a very nice amber fragrance, which reminds you of Ombre Sultan, Oriental style amber, look no further. Niche Oud by Armaf is a very fine amber fragrance. Give it a try. Really good performance as well. A lot of depth, richness. If you like that sort of fragrances, Niche Oud probably is going to really impress you. The next on my list is a fragrance from a house called Ard Al Zafran. Another cheapie, just like Lattafa and like my perfumes. This house produces some really good fragrances. Now this one, wow, is a really good take on Black Orchid by Tom Ford. Now this fragrance is around rich florals, really dense, thick, rich florals, and a fantastic layer of chocolate, dry, crumbly chocolate. I've done a full review, and this one is a unisex fragrance, very sexy, very sensual kind of a sexy. So if you're a lady watching this video, do give it a try. If you like Black Orchid, I'm pretty sure you'll like this. Again, like any Middle Eastern fragrance, when you first spray it, it might smell cheap, sharp, this, that, and the other. It's just your ego coming in the way. You know, these fragrances start in the way and then they settle down and you get a very, very nice result. So, Oud 24 Hours by Ard Al Zafran is a fabulous, seductive fragrance if you're into that sort of fragrances. You know, rich, floral, chocolatey, seductive kind of a fragrance. And if you like Black Orchid, give it a try. I'm pretty sure you'll like it. Next on my list is one of those fragrances that I easily recommend to everybody. If the person is a newbie and they come to me and say, I need a versatile day-to-day fragrance, this is the first fragrance that comes to mind. This one is a Rasasi and it's called Alvasan Day. This is also a take on Silver Mountain Water, but this is a different kind of a take. So it's more watery. This is a really good fragrance, you know. It's got that metallic vibe. It's got bergamot, oodles and noodles of bergamot, but it also has a very nice watery rose and musk. It's just amazing. You know, this has never failed me. To every person who I have recommended this to has come back and told me that they really adore this fragrance, plus their wives loved it. It's one of those fragrances that you will never fail with. So if you haven't tried this, Alvasan Day by Rasasi. Absolutely fantastic, versatile, day-to-day, office wear, daytime, really impressive fragrance. Next on my list is a fragrance which probably is the best copy of Aventis. Best copy of Aventis current batches. Some of you have guessed it. This one is by Al Haramain and this one is called Laventia. The moment you spray this, you'll see the Aventis similarity in about half an hour. So initially it's a bit chalky, synthetic, harsh, this, that, and the other, whatever. As I said, all these fragrances are synthetic initially. Let them settle and you get this fruity pineapple, blackcurrant, bergamot, mossy greenness. It's just lovely. Just the exact copy of what current batches of Aventis smell like. I'm not saying exact copy. Sorry, I shouldn't say exact copy. It's very reminiscent of the fruity batches of Aventis. It's just like, from a distance, if you spray it on your clothes, people will think you're wearing Aventis. Ill-informed. People who know Aventis like the back of their hands will outrightly reject this because this is something that they can't digest. And I'm pretty okay with both sides of the story because Aventis is worth £275 for 125, 100 ml, whatever. This one will cost you £25. It's, I think, 100 ml, if I'm not wrong. And smells absolutely amazing. Yeah. So, Laventia by Al Haramain. Can't go wrong with this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. 10 done. Next on my list is a Rasasi. This is an expensive Rasasi. Qasamat Morhaf. If you've followed me for a long time, you know how much I love this fragrance. Reason being, it's absolutely stunning. So this fragrance is based around rose. And the rose is so lemony and rich and resinous with woods and spices. It smells somewhere between Zajov, More Than Words, and Armani Rose Araby. So both those fragrances are £275 upwards. This thing, 65 ml, will cost you about 55 here in the UK. Romantic, beautiful, beautiful, rich rose, lemony rich rose. Yeah, the rose note here is so beautiful. There's nothing, no cheapness in this fragrance. Nothing inexpensive or cheap. Rose can go really bad, soapy, jammy. This is beautiful. Qasamat Morhaf. Try it if you like rose. If you like those two fragrances I mentioned, they're amazing. Next on my list is a fragrance which is a recent discovery, and when I reviewed it, people went berserk about its performance. It's by My Perfumes, and this one is called Oudh Al Layl. This is an old-fashioned masculine. Not old-fashioned, but it's very strong. It's extremely strong. This is what you call a nuclear strength fragrance. It has a lot of oak moss, yeah, but the oak moss doesn't smell like the oak moss of the 70s, but it still has huge amounts of oak moss, and that oak moss is sort of combined with a very thick musk, so it's like a green velvety sort of a smell. I've done a full review. In fact, my review is the YouTube exclusive, and I'm very, very proud to bring this because people went and bought this fragrance and came back and said, my God, this is amazing. It is, for some people, this has become their most favorite fragrance. And then rose, yeah, so green, mossy, musky, velvety, smooth, and rose, and oud. You won't get a fragrance of this quality at this price range and this kind of performance. It's absolutely nuclear. Very strong. Oudh Al Layl by My Perfumes. Try it out. My God, this is strong. Next one is the same. It's a huge, heavy projection monster. It's very beautiful. It's a tobacco fragrance, vanilla and tobacco. And again, this is a recent discovery. This is Lattafa Ameer Al Oud Intense Oud. Long name. Such a nice fragrance. Starts very sweet, but the sweetness reduces, and what you get is a beautiful tobacco vanilla combination. And excuse me, in the middle stages, this fragrance starts to remind me of Herod by Parfums de Marly, and I was quite stunned. And sometimes I get the vibes of red tobacco by Mancera. So it's somewhere between red tobacco and Herod in its dry down. And it's really, really nice. This fragrance has a killer dry down. If you like strong projecting modern tobacco fragrances, sweet fragrances, this is the fragrance you want. So great for clubbing, great for compliment magnets. Don't wear this to work. Don't wear this to work because, excuse me, you will get tons of complaints from people. Especially if you have your own routine of 6 sprays or 4 sprays, you'll kill everybody. Don't bother. More than 2 sprays is asking for trouble. Excuse me, my voice is a bit... Anyways, 2 left. Next one is the most recent discovery. Now Rohit, my friend from India, sent me a bottle. And I was just taken aback by the beauty of the scent. Armaf Club de Nuit Intense Eau de Parfum. So I'm already a fan of EDT. When I received the EDP, I completely went bananas. It's so beautiful. It just smells absolutely amazing. I've not had a chance to do a full wearing. I just put it on my curtains just to see how the sillage was. This thing fills a room with one spray. It's just the EDT taken to the next level, both in terms of smoothness, resinous quality, richness, depth, and the trail. The smell is amazing. This is what Aventus used to be like. The leathery, smoky, birchy Aventus batches. That's what this tries to do. And it does it so well. Excuse me. And so well that I never felt the need for a full bottle of Aventus. It's just this fragrance, my God. You gotta try it. The EDP version, absolutely smash hit. Let me test it out and I'll do a beautiful review of this fragrance because this has got me, very excited. Absolutely amazing. Look for this because the EDP will have this. There's nowhere in the bottle where you'll get the EDP said, not even in the label. It's just this, and the packaging, of course, will tell you it's an EDP. And the last one on my list is a fragrance which I did not like at all. Initially, I hated it. Now, as time has passed, this has become one of my most favorite fragrances from the Middle East. Rasasi La Yuqawam. And this fragrance, I didn't like it. I just couldn't like it. I was so scared of it. The moment I sprayed it, there's this note which really used to scare me. It's a very harsh, sharp, green, leafy note, trying to do a tobacco. But as time went by, let me have a sip of water. As time went by, I became more and more sort of drawn to this fragrance, so much so. This is what I'm wearing at the moment. And I never thought this was a beast mode fragrance. All I got from this was this very sharp, almost scary, dry tobacco-like smell, which I think is patchouli. There's a lot of patchouli in this fragrance. It's trying to do a Tuscan leather. But when you first smell it and you compare it to the opening of Tuscan leather, there is no similarity. There's no ashiness. So initially, it doesn't come across as Tuscan leather cloth. But when it dries down, that's when the magic happens. It has that fruity, boozy, slight tobacco, and that leather, the nutty, scary leather of Tuscan leather. It's not as jammy and sweet as Tuscan leather. It has those qualities. But if you like leather fragrances, if you like masculine fragrances, this is a fragrance that you should really try. It's an expensive Rasasi. I mean, £75 for 75 ml. That's what I paid. And this is a vintage bottle. I've heard that the performance on this one has gone down. Can't verify, but I'm very surprised. Rasasi doesn't mess around with their formulations. And this was not a beast mode fragrance. It was just a very scary fragrance. The opening really scared everybody. But I never went more than one spray. Still, today, I'm wearing a one spray. And I tell you, that single spray is good enough to just give you the goosebumps. Just try it if you haven't already. If you like Tuscan leather, if you like masculine, rich leather, La Yuqawam. It's one of the best fragrances to come out from the Middle East in terms of quality, depth, complexity, sex appeal. It's just beautiful. Absolutely stunning. So that sums my list up. This, I hope, is going to give you at least one great fragrance from the Middle East. So that concludes my video. If you like it, do give it a like. Take care. Bye-bye.